So as promised, today we start on tags, and this is what will go inside the pockets that we've been creating like crazy in the mini album. This is a good example. This card was already a tag. Isn't that cute? It was already made like a tag. Let me show you the other part of it. It's right here. So see how perfect these are already tags? All I have to do is put a little ribbon in them and they're ready to go, and they become tags and photo mats. So that's basically what we're going to do here. You're going to just decide your top from your bottom and then how you want to do your tags. Now this one, the sentiment is on the back also, because this card was made where if you opened it like this, you had a sentiment, and that's perfectly fine. You can leave the sentiment or cover it with a photo, either way. So some cards like this one that I love the way it's finished out, I won't be doing any finishes to the edges of. I'll just poke a hole and add some ribbon. But a card like this, I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity to be able to make it look like a tag. So I'll show you how that works. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull out all the cards I want to turn into tags. This is one. This one I won't have to do anything to the edges, so I'll make a separate pile. This is how I like to work, like a pile. This one I'm not going to do anything to the edges. This one I am. This one I'm not. Any of them that are matted, I'm going to leave them just like that. This one I'm going to leave like that. This one I think I'm going to turn it into a tag like this because I think it'll still look good and not mess up the look of the card. This one I won't do anything with. I will this one and this one. I can this one. Does it make sense? Like this card I don't want to cut into the matting, or this one, or this one. This one I can certainly turn this into a tag, okay? This one I can turn into a tag. I love that. I'm not going to mess with that. These guys can all be messed with. This, of course, can. This has her information on the back, but see how I can turn that into a tag on the front. And this is one that ended up not having anything. I'm not going to use this in this album. I have plenty. So when you get to something like this, save this for one of your cards. You can turn this into a mat for one of your cards. But I'm not going to use it in this one because I have this part, which is gracious plenty to be a tag. This one I won't have to do anything with. There's another one of those. Now this one was signed. So you do want to make sure if someone signed it that you save that portion, okay? So this might be something you just want to put into a pocket. Perfect tag, another tag, another tag, another tag. That can be a tag. Again, save that for a pocket. Save that for a pocket. Tag, tag. This is one where the person wrote their sentiment to me on this sticky, and I want to keep that, so that'll go into a pocket. That can be a tag, can be a tag, can be a tag, tag, tag. Love it. Lots of tags. Again, I want to save that for a pocket. This can be a tag, and it's signed on the back. That looks already like a tag to me. This I'm going to leave like it is, and this, and this, and this. So now these guys will just get holes punched and ribbons tied through. Those are simple. And these guys we will turn into tags. Now you have to decide how you want your tag to look. And I like the little points on the tag, okay? So that's how I'm going to do them. But if you want to do rounded edges, you could do that. Some of these I may just round. Like this one, I may just round. So let's do that. I'll do a rounded edge pile and a pointed tag pile. How about that? I think I'm going to round those edges. This one I know I'm pointing. Pointing that one. I'm going to round that one. And that one. I'll point this one. This one. Maybe if they're like this, I'll just round them. Nope, I have another idea for those. So I'm going to put those there. We'll talk about that in just a second. And this one. I'm going to use it this way too. Alright, let me tell you what I just discovered. A tag like this, or a card like this, where the sentiment is in the center, and if you cut the sides away, it won't matter. We're going to turn these into smaller tags. Some of these won't all be the size that they are. If they have to be, like if the sentiment or the embellishments make me have to use the entire thing, I will. But if it's where I can cut it down and turn it into a smaller tag, I'm going to do that as well. That one can be cut down. That can be cut down. I'm going to leave that one like it is. I might can make a couple of tags out of that, so I'll cut that one down. I'm going to turn that one into a point and this into a point. I think I will cut, no, points. That can be cut down. This will just get rounded. That'll get rounded. This I'm going to cut down. That I can do. No. Rounded. actually I'm going to cut this down some. I think that'll be pretty if it was cut down. I'm going to round this one. I'm going to round that one. And then I'm going to I may turn that into 2 tags, so I'll put that here. So the reason I did that is now I know these tags just get rounded edges. They're super simple. I'm just going to put them to the side and round them and poke holes in them. So there's that pile. Now these are the ones I'll be playing with and turning into something else. So let's talk about that. This guy needs to be cut down pretty good. This one's going to get cut down a good bit. Cut down a good bit. Cut down. I'm not going to cut that one down because the way the writing is. This one I'm not going to cut down. Not going to cut that one down. This one I'm going to cut down. Not that one. This one I am going to cut down. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. This one I'm going to cut down. That one I'm going to cut down. That one. And I can cut that one down a little bit. That one. I'm going to cut that down and point it. I'm going to cut this down and point it. And this one I'm going to cut down. Now the reason it's important to have some that cut down is some of, you're using the fronts of these cards as pockets in a lot of places. So the backs are not going to fit inside themselves. So you are going to have to cut them down a tiny bit. But you do have some areas that will hold the larger pockets. So these just make for perfect cut downs. So let's start with those. I think they're the most work. So you just get out your trimmer, and something like this. I'm just going to trim him up and kind of make him straight. He seems to be a little crooked. So trim him up like that. Trim this edge up like this. Maybe a little more off because I don't think I centered that very well. Yeah. Now this one too, I've got some room to cut it down so I can use those smaller pockets. So I'm just going to line my trimmer up and cut. And then line this side up and cut so that I'm really just getting the image. By making this smaller, it'll fit into those pockets. Now I want to show you this. For my points on this album, here's what I'm going to do to make my tag points. I'm going to use either my square punch, or if you have a hexagon punch that's bigger than this, it'll work. This one's a little too small. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this tag and put it into the side and line that card up on 2 sides of that square punch and punch that away. Okay? And look how that gives me my tag corner. Much easier than trying to do that and make them all perfect. So you're just going to line this up in your punch and cut that away. Now when doing this, the size of your punch is determined by the size of your point is determined by the size of your punch. So if you want a larger point than that, I'm good with that. You would use a bigger one. This is a 1-inch square punch, by the way. So that's what we're going to do. Let's do another one together. This one is a perfect example. See where the image is, nothing on the back. So we're going to cut down close to the image. This is still plenty big enough to add photos because nowadays you can print your photos to any size you want them. So this will become a tag. Using my punch again, line those little corners up. Now, you're going to have a hard time getting these perfect, but no one's going to notice. That is pretty dang good, right? Alright, so for all of these that we just pulled aside, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through and trim them down and turn them into tags. Now, these next few tags we're going to do, we're just going to do some corner rounding on the tops. I'm just going to take them and just round these corners and make tags out of these. And this is because they were too large to cut down. Remember, the embellishments were in our way or what have you. Or there was something on the back that we didn't want to interfere with. So we just do them like this. And turn them into tags. You could do this with your square punch too. I just think this works really faster. Because the square punch you have to line up a little bit more. And this doesn't take as much away from the piece. Alright, so now those are all ready. Turned into tags. Put those aside. Now remember these guys, these are ones that I wanted to do something with, but I wasn't sure. I'm going to go through and round the edges of all of this, just to make it feel like we've done something to it, right? To make it more of a tag feel. This one I'm just going to do the top portion. Okay. I'm going to do all the way around this one. I'm only going to do the top of this one. I think that feels like a tag when I do that. And that's the thing, just play around. Do whichever portion you like that you feel like you want to do. I'm only going to do the top of that one too. No, I'm not. I'm doing all of it. I like it. The rounding looks good. So now all of these are rounded and ready for holes and ribbons. And these guys were the ones we weren't going to round. We're just going to put holes and ribbon in. Now, as you can see, this is a lot to poke holes in and put ribbons in, so I'm not going to make you watch that, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I take my largest hole punch, which is the 3/16, I think. Yeah, that's the 3/16 hole punch on my crocodile. And one thing you can do to make this go quicker is match some cards up. Like this one you can't do because the hole goes in a different place, but this one, this one, this one. So that's about 5, so get a stack of them. Make sure when you poke your hole that you poke it a little further down than you think you need to, because you don't want your ribbon to come through. And this way I was able to punch about 5 at one time. Okay, so that's how I assembly line things. So those are done. Let's do the same thing here. This one goes this way, so I can do these 2 at one time. So now those are ready for ribbon. And I'm just going to do that all the way through. Go through and just poke my holes for ribbon. So now all of these have holes in them, and we're going to do ribbon next. And I want to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose 3 different styles of ribbon. That way when it's in the album, it won't be a bunch of the same ribbon. So I'm going to do some with baker's twine, some with actual twine or hemp cord, and then some with ribbon. So these are the things I've chosen to use. I'm going to use some of this. This is like a cotton cord. And then I'm going to use these beautiful ribbons in green and gold. And then baker's twine. So let's just do a couple together. This is the ribbon. I'm just going to fold it in half and pick up one of the cards. And I don't care which one it is because I want them to be different. I'm going to poke this through just using a pokey tool. Grab it from the back. And then using this circle piece, pull this other through it. And now this has a ribbon on it. So when it goes in the book, we'll have some ribbons hanging and things. So that's how we'll do the ribbon. Now let's do a twine one, a cord one. I think these is... I got this at Walmart. My Walmart is really stepping up their embellishment game. So I cut myself a piece of the cord. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to poke it through. Again, it gives me a loop on this side. And feed it through. So now when I put this one in, I'll have this kind of piece hanging out. So that's 2 different kinds that'll be showing. Now I got a little baker's twine. I'm going to stick it through this one. And do the same thing. Just pull the little slip knot. So now that'll have it. So when they go into the pockets, they'll have 3 different pieces sticking off of them. Now if you want to, you can just use tabs. You could just make circles and have little tabs pulling them out. But I think it'll be neat to have all the ribbons in there. So I'm going to do ribbon or twine or something on every one of these. And then we'll get back together. Okay guys, so I have all the tags done. All the ribbons are tied and everything. And we'll bring those over in a few minutes. But first, I wanted to go ahead and put in those cards that I told you were the elements that kind of were flippies and, you know, they just made sense. So let's look at those. Remember these cards? The ones that I thought, you know, we could put them in and they're kind of flip up elements and things like that. So like, for example, on this flap, this would look really good right here. And then it becomes a photo mat and it's a card in itself. So that one's going right there. And I am going to use ATG to put it down. To me, this is the part of the project when it really starts coming together, because these little elements like this make it so simple. But now we have a flip up page, and that's all we did was add a card. And so it says Christmas wishes, which is beautiful, and then a place for photos here and photos here. And I can do it on this mat. I can do it on all the other mats. So let's do these two real quick. Just for example, this card is perfect for right here, and it becomes a flip up. I just love that idea. I think it is super easy, and I don't know, big payoff. Not a lot of work, because this greeting card album does the work for you. My ATG gun is running out, so I'm going to go back to my sticky adhesive so I don't have to stop to fix it. Y'all ever do that? Just go to a different adhesive? So I've heard a little bit of discussion about trying to come up with a Christmas ornament using these little stripy pieces from our adhesive. And some folks were talking about paper beads and things like that. I love that idea, but I haven't seen any done yet, so I'm anxious to see some. So put this guy here. I just love this part where the cards become interactive elements too. Isn't that awesome? And I mean, it looks like I have done so much work, but I haven't. And that's what's so cool. Because I know you guys feel like me. There's only so much work we can do in a day, right? Let's find another one. I'm going to flip over since I have that one there. And I'm going to add one here. And I want to add this little window one right there. I think that's super cute. So now, just by adding that card there, I end up with a fold-out element. It's just awesome. I just love it. So keep flipping. Let's see if we can add something else. Oh, I think this one will look good here. Because it kind of works with that, I think this will look really good right here. Put this guy down. And now again, another flip-up element. Isn't that awesome? I mean, how easy is that, right? This whole album looks like we have spent a lot of time, and really, it's just been simple. On this card, I'm going to trim this edge down a little bit so that it will fit onto one of my pieces and still be an interactive element. So let me do that real quick. Don't be afraid to trim them down because you'd rather use them than not use them, right? So this way, we'll be able to use this in here just by trimming it just a little bit. But I'm not going to add it here because I have that one. I'm going to find a spot where I don't have one and put it there. Oh, back here's perfect. Perfect. See? Another interactive element. Now these two cards are not where I can cut them down, and that's okay because I can just save them and still use them as photo mats by just putting them into one of the pockets that we created, or in, you know, both of them into it. But see, I'll be able to add photos to these and it'll be like a pull-out interactive piece. Or if you just want to look at your cards all the time, or you know, keep some together, you can do that too, and those fit in there perfectly. So while we're here at the back, remember the ones I wanted to save that had the notes on them? This is a perfect place for them to put them in that big back pocket there. So now I have those with my little notes on them. And I still have 3 large cards today. You guys didn't get to see this one. I just got this one recently. And it has that ornament on it. I just love that. This one I can probably cut down and turn it, because once I take the ornament off, I can turn that into a tag. And I haven't decided how I'm going to use these. I'm trying to save these 2 for the cover, because I think that's the only place that they're going to fit. So I'm going to put those aside. But now I want to load this guy up with our tags. Look at all the tags. It's so many. I'm going to sit them off to the side, and then I'm going to pick them up and just start loading them in. So I'm going to put some back here in the back, like so. So see how we can just stick them in like that? These wider ones can go into these bigger pockets. Oh, I don't want to use that. It's got the same ribbon. So you just want to alternate them around and just put them in different places. Just wherever you have the storage space. This looks pretty with this sparkly card. And I have so many to put in. So many. This album's going to have to hold a lot. But you just feel around and put in what fits. Like in this side pocket, these guys will fit for sure. I'm going to save them because they're kind of small. I can put them somewhere else. Like stick this one in this side pocket. So it sticks out. How cute is that? Let's put the one that came with it in there. So we have those 2 tags in that pocket. Don't forget we still have this pocket. There's pockets all over the place. There's 2 in there. Let's see what we can put in here. How about this guy in here? So we have that one in there. And this one, because it's wide. Let's put it in there. Let's slide this one in here. So you see how all these pockets are just working in our favor now? Just because, I mean, we spent the time to put them in, and now we have all of these tags that can just fill these up. So I ended up getting all of those tags into those pockets, but these guys are a little too big. So I'm going to take the biggest ones that I have, and they can go into these big pockets. And we don't mind if they stick out, because that's what the top of the album's for anyway. This guy can go in here. These front pockets are holding a lot. I'm very proud of those. So check this out now. Do you see how full this is? And if nothing else, it's all Christmas cards. You don't even have to add any pictures to it. Do you see why I had to have it so big? Because now look. This guy is full. I love it. But he closes perfect. Do you see that? Because I allowed for a lot of room. And of course we'll do a final walkthrough, and I'll show you everything, and I'll pull all the tags out so you can see where everything is. But check out how much space we got. And I still didn't use this pocket yet, or decorate the flip down. I still have room for pictures there, or if I want to use cards there. Now we need to work on our cover and our closure. I'm ready to put the closure on it so it'll all stay together with the magnets. So there you go, guys. That's just another version. Look how big it is. Are you excited? Alright, so this is all we'll do today. On Monday when we get back together, we'll work on the cover and all of the outside and putting this closure on and deciding what to do with these larger cards that we have left over. And wow, guys, a lot of album, huh? Alright, well, I will see you guys. Let me open it up so you can look at it. We'll lay it like that. I will see you guys again on Monday. Actually, don't miss tomorrow's video, Vinny's Vittles. He'll have a sweet little recipe for you. And when I say sweet, it's really sweet. It's delicious. So check that out tomorrow on this channel. It'll load at 8 a.m. in the morning. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.